Storms, they're an inevitable part of life. In fact, as you and I have jumped in and out of conversations throughout the semesters together about spiritual fortitude and mental health, you've heard about the many storms that I've faced, the disappointments, both professionally and personally, that I've experienced, a pressure to measure up that I've felt, and even the seasons of anxiety that I've struggled with. And if we were to sit down again in a few years, I'd be able to tell you all about the new storms that I walked through, because life isn't always easy. I know for sure that you've had your fair share of storms as well. You might find yourself in the middle of one right now. I think a good question worth asking is, how can we cultivate resilience in the face of storm and not lose hope or faith? In Luke chapter 6, Jesus asks a piercing question to his followers and then goes on to explain it with an example. He asks, "Why do you call me Lord and do not do what I say?" In other words, why do you claim that I hold a particular place of importance in your life, yet it's not reflected in the way you live? Then he tells us why it's in my best interest and your best interest to obey him as Lord. He goes on to describe two different kinds of people. One person takes his teaching and actually puts them into practice, and the other hears his teaching and doesn't put them into practice. The one who lives out what Jesus taught is likened to a wise builder who builds their house on a solid rock foundation. And when the storm came, the house did not fall. The one who does not apply the teachings of Jesus to their lives is likened to a foolish builder who builds their house on sand. And when the storm came, the house was destroyed. The resilient house was built on a solid foundation. Jesus is teaching that when we choose to surrender our lives to him as Lord over our lives, there is no storm strong enough to take us out. Your best life and my best life is when Jesus is Lord. Now, just to be clear, building our lives on the foundation of Jesus doesn't mean that our lives are going to be perfect. Remember, in both instances, the storms of life came. In other words, life is going to happen. Things are going to go wrong. Tragedy and difficulty will come. But when we obey Jesus as Lord and build our lives on the foundation rooted in his way, not our way, we're building a life that is not going to crumble no matter what we face. When your security and identity and value is built on the foundation that Jesus died to save you, that breakup won't wreck your life. That last job won't make you question your worth, and the season of singleness you're in won't define you. When in your relationships you lead the way of love and humility as Jesus taught, they will find new hope and new life. When you begin to fight sin the way that Jesus taught us to fight against sin in our lives, you're steering clear of the things that promise to ruin your life. When you build your life on the hope of Jesus' resurrection, your faith can survive the tragedy and find peace in the pain rather than disappointment in the frustration. Resilience in the storm comes down to what, or rather who, is at the foundation of our lives. Who ultimately is Lord? Whose way are we following? Ours or his? Whose truth are we leaning into? The world's or his? When everything other than Jesus is Lord in our lives, money, a person, relationship, hope, a dream, a habit, a feeling, a temporary fix, or even yourself, you're building your life on sand. But when we surrender to Jesus as both Savior and Lord, your foundation will be secure, your hope will be set, and your life will find purpose and meaning.